One, two, three. Arr, mateys! RMJ Movie Reviews back again with a surprise movie review of The Goonies! Okay, The Goonies was my all-time favorite movie growing up as a child. My mother taped it for me off of Viewer's Choice, which was pay-per-view back in the 80s. The Goonies is my favorite movie of all time. I love The Goonies, and for any late 30 something, that is a staple of their childhood. Um, they had a retro showing of it at the movie theater in my neighborhood. It was only $3, so I said, "What the heck?" I'll slide over there because when The Goonies was released in theaters in 1985, I believe I was either the age 5 or 4. Fantastic movie produced by Steven Spielberg, directed by Mr. Richard Donner himself. This movie is funny. It's hilarious. It has not stopped being funny or hilarious. I think one of the things about the Goonies is upon revisiting it is how politically incorrect a lot of the humor is, and the boys in this movie talk the way boys really talk. That's the way we talked. At least back then in the 80s, we did. I'm not sure if they really do that now, but that was how we talked at the time. Um, whether I say that proudly or not, that is the way we talked. You know, the Goonies, the Goonies. I guess the big question is seeing it at the movie theater and it being my favorite movie of all time. I had never seen it in the theater, and it was almost like seeing it brand new. And even though I realize a lot of these retro showings are digital, they're not filmed like they were back then. It actually really did look like it was filmed. And it was almost like re-experiencing the movie all over again. One of the things I always loved about the Goonies is the genuine performances from the children. You know, the fact that they are real kids. You know what I mean? And they really are themselves. Although there isn't really buried treasure, they were kids making a movie. So they were living an adventure for real. And I think that spirit of adventure is the way I've always felt when I watch The Goonies, and the way I continue to feel when I watch it upon reviewing. The Goonies never gets old to me. I don't know how many times I've seen this movie. It must be somewhere in the thousands, but it never gets old. The jokes never get old. It's it's so funny. And I will say, I think it's the genuine warmth and heart that the child performers have, and I also think that the adults in the movie kind of joined in on the spirit too. Like you look at the actress from Throw Mama from the Train. Throw Mama from the Train. I'm so sorry, I forgot her name. But she's joining in on the fun. Robert Davi, who's Maniac Cop. Tons of other cult films. Die Hard, a part of Predator 2. He's a fantastic performance. Joey Pants from The Sopranos. I mean, the fact that he says, "I don't wear a hairpiece," and it's the most horrible hairpiece in the world. And how can we forget Sloth, played by John Matusak? I believe he played for the Raiders in the 80s. That gentleman has passed on. Um, Sloth being one of the most hilarious characters with "Hey you guys," I mean it's just classic one-liners, and Bran trying to make it with Andy. And I don't know if it's anybody I know. One of my co-hosts over on Region Free, my buddy Lauren, uh, who is not a fan of the Goonies. But I don't think he's a fan of Martha Plimpton either. So I must say, I love Martha Plimpton. I love Martha Plimpton. I like her even more than Andy, namely because Martha Plimpton resembles one of my sister's friends who actually did look like that back then during the 80s. So I will forever always have a crush on Martha Plimpton. And I just love the genuine spirit of adventure and just warmth and heart that is in this movie. This movie has so much warmth, so much heart. I really do think that this is a well done film. I think it is a solid 10 out of 10. Um, I'm gonna name off all the jokes that are just so funny to me. I mean, I think one of the funniest jokes in the Goonies that killed me. I laughed so hard. I still never forget when I first saw the Goonies. My mother taped it for me off Viewer's Choice, and I was watching it as she recorded it. And the scene where Chunk goes, "I smell ice cream. They got chocolate eruption in Mississippi mud, Rocky Road." And man, when that dead body turns around and Chunk goes, "Ah!" I nearly died. I nearly died. Died when I was a kid. And then when Chunk is stuck in the cooler with the dead body, I mean, this is a kid's film. He's got a bullet hole right between his eyes. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, Corey Feldman, you know, however you are, personal feelings aside, Corey Feldman is a master. He's so funny. He's so funny. Come on, Bran, slipper the tongue. It's so hysterical. Oh my God. And then when he looks and he goes, "Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we just spread chocolate all over the floor and let Chunk eat his way through?" It's like, oh man. And then I think another scene that kills me is I think when they break the statue and they put the certain piece of a male anatomy on upside down, and Bran goes, "If God made it that way, you'd be pissing in your faces." You could never get away with that in the kids film now. But that was how us kids were in the 80s. You know, we weren't soft in the 80s, you know. We just weren't. Man, it's and there's so many great one-liners in this one. Of course, we've got the great scene where Troy goes, "Andy, you Goonie," and it's like, to this day, I've seen the Goonies 1,000 times. I don't even know what a Goonie is. I don't know what Troy meant by that. But it's quotable, and all of us 40-year-olds still remember it 35 years later. Um, the direction in this movie is very tight. This is basically Indiana Jones for children. It's a fantastic piece of filmmaking. And one of the things that I really like about it is, I think my favorite part of the entire movie is the water slide. When they go down the water slide, and I think seeing it on a theater screen really fed into the rousing sense of adventure, and the set design too. The set design with the ship was really, really, really cool. I loved the. That was one thing I liked seeing on the big screen. And digressing a little bit, I heard in the commentary that Richard Donner actually said that when they finished production on the Goonies, that they tried to sell the ship to an amusement park, and they said nobody. Can you believe this, guys? Nobody bought it, and they had to tear that wonderful piece of set design apart. It all had to be torn apart, which is such a shame because the set design in this movie is absolutely bar to none spectacular. And it's one of the things that I love most about 80s filmmaking is just the set design, the amount of craftsmanship that goes into the set design to create this fake world, this sense of adventure. And the creature design for Sloth is just brilliant. There's actually some videos on YouTube that show how they put that together, and it's actually, it's a mask, a mechanical mask that went over John Matusak's face so the ear could do all this. And sometimes like he'd be in the water and the kids be like, "Oh, Sloth," and I guess apparently it would malfunction and stuff. So and also there are some deleted scenes in the Goonies, because at the end of the movie when the reporters are interviewing him, they go like, "The octopus was very scary. There was an octopus in the movie, and I saw that scene." I'm glad they took it out. I'm glad they took that scene out. It was cool to see it on the DVD extras, but it was just a goofy, dumb scene. It didn't work. Cool to see, didn't work. But I did enjoy seeing it though, and I believe they did say that there were gorillas at some point in the movie. I think I recall Richard Donner saying it. I'd love to see that. That's not on the DVD or Blu-ray anywhere, so maybe that is somewhere out there. You guys let me know. But fantastic performances all across the board. I mean, everybody is at 100% for their performances. All the kids do great jobs. All the adults do great jobs. The direction is tight. The special effects are good. The music is wonderful. It has a lot of heart, warmth. This film is my heart. I love this movie from the bottom of my heart. I love the Goonies like it's a family member, like it's a kid I don't even have. I think it is a solid 10 out of 10. I think it is a good film. That's just how I feel. I love this movie. I love this movie. And I also want to share with you guys that I had actually shot a review for this last night, and I accidentally deleted it this afternoon. So this is a reshoot. So, but that is my surprise movie review of The Goonies. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. Don't forget to hit the bell, leave comments down below, and shout out to my man, Baby Mammoth. Jay, my boy. We go back and forth, comment all the time. Great guy. Really appreciate your uplifting and friendly comments that you've always left on my channel, man. And yeah, right there here with you, bro. Appreciate your comments. And I'll continue to chat with you back and forth, bro. And I got you on that one thing you asked me about. If you do not like the Goonies, or action movies, or slasher films, or horror films, why don't you just go watch The Bridges of Madison County? RMJ Movie Reviews. I'll be back soon.